Hola chamas y chamos, welcome back to a new episode of Álvaro Dev Labs. Today we're gonna be astronauts in an island. Today we're gonna give our first steps with Astro. Astro could be considered as a meta framework such as Next for React or Nox for Vue, but it's different because it's UI agnostic, meaning that you can combine components from Vue, components from React, and web components, lead elements, etc. And it's aimed to build extremely fast content-driven website. Also, what makes Astro special is that it's an MPA or multi-page application. It's different from other ones because they are mostly SPAs or single page application. In this case, it works like a long time ago we have an HTML per page of the routing in the server. So Astro bring back the magic from those times and do it especially good with modern technology. Normally, I'm reluctant to create content about every front-end framework that appears every time somebody sneezes. But Astro is different from them because they launched the stable version last year and it's crazy performant. It is performant by default. It gives you almost 90 to 100% score in Lighthouse with zero effort. So how they do that? To understand it, let's jump a little bit more in technical aspects and talk about Astro Islands. So this is a new concept. This is called island architecture and is something that differentiates Astro from the rest. Basically, when you create a page, let's say you are creating a static site generated page, you still will have your content, okay? And you will have certain UI elements that need interactivity, like image carousel, for example, okay? So normally you need to choose if your page are SSG or it needs to reiterate some of the components. That means that you add JavaScript into the response so the browser can iterate those components and make them interactive. In this case, it's way more intelligent because you divide your page in several islands. So you have the interactive islands, such as the header, for example. Let's imagine you have also your avatar there, you have a drop menu, so it's really interactive. Then you have a sidebar that is completely static, and you have another part that is your content, let's say posts, articles, videos, whatever, that is extremely static. You don't need to you don't need to interact with them so much. Then you probably have another component, and this is the cool part about the Astro, is that even if you have Astro components, that doesn't mean that you cannot use your favorite framework. So you can use Vue, React, Preact, Svelte, and the list goes on. So this is something that are really appealing for me of using Astro because I can reuse my Vue components that I use in most of my projects into a page built in Astro. Then you could have a footer that is also static, and these three will not have any JavaScript, will be HTML directly. While these ones, you need to put a specific directive and say, hey, they need to be iterated, they need to be interactive. So this is why it's so performance, because it gives you zero JavaScript by default, and then you select which components you want it to be interactive. So I have a confession to make. This is the very first time that I'm touching Astro. I haven't played with it before. I haven't even tried for the tutorial because I wanted to try it the first time with you, the audience that watching this video. So let's go together and see how it works. For now, I have my terminal open, and as normally when I want to learn how to create a new project, I'm going to the documentation. So this is the documentation of Astro. You can find it in the description below. It's astro.build. And inside of it, we see that in the hero here, it gives you directly the command to create a new project. So let's use it. Let's go here and npm create Astro Lake. What's that? LOL! They have like a helper. Houston, let's build something great. Oh, it's so kawaii. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Okay, this is this is starting good. So where would you like to create your new project?
One eternity later.
Okay, so let's name our project. I'm gonna name it Astro Archipel. I think it's a word for archipelago, which is like a conjunction of several islands in a place. So let's call it like that. How would you like to set up your new project? I guess a few best practices. Okay, template copy. Would you like to install it? Yes. I kind of like the developer experience of this tool. It's pretty beautiful, to be honest. Like they spend quite amount of time to make it cute. Let's say it. So let's wait until it install everything. So you would like to start a new, yes, relax. Lol, leave off, confirm, explore your project. Okay, I'm completely bad by these people. So let's open it in code. I'm going to open it with the command code, Astro Archipel. Okay, so now that we have the vscode open, let's put it in full mode, and also I'm going to increase a little bit the size so we can see. Okay, so this is the basic Astro application. It has a config file called astro.config.mgs. It's quite similar to Vite, to be honest. I will not be surprised if under the hood they are using Vite. Install everything with npm. That's fair. So we have the package JSON and we have the commands. So it's all like astrodev, astrobuild, okay. And then we have a source with some pages. So here is where we can start explaining Astro. And the thing is that Astro has their own type of components, which is our .astro, following like Vue and React that they have their extension. Well, following Vue and Svelte that they have their own template extension. So in this case, we have something that looks like Markdown, to be fair, because looks like form matter. And it's important that the other components, and then you have something similar to a template where you put everything. This is a component that is important, so let's see the layout. So you can create props here. Okay, interesting. So it has like astro.props, and you define the props like this. And here is basic HTML. Like this is the layout, the main layout. And it's a doc element with the HTML, everything here, the title. It has some CSS here with the custom directive, okay? So I guess this directive is saying to the style to be global, right? And okay, since fair, here is a card also with a similar approach. Let's see how it looks. So I'm going to run it on the terminal. So to open is Command J, and let's run dev. Okay, so it's gonna say Astro dev, and if we open it, we're gonna see this. So it's like a welcome page, similar to what Nuts have, that they have like a welcome page, and you have links to the documentation, integration, themes, and community. So to get started, open the directory source page in your project. Okay, so seems like this is the app, like the app component. Something important to mention is that if you don't have the syntax highlighting, you probably need to install it. So something that I did before the tutorial was going to extensions and check the Astro extension with the language support. Okay, so it's important that you install it. And also I find another one that stole my heart, which is their own extension for Houston. And what it does is that it gives you Houston right here. How amazing is this? I don't know, but it's so cool. Let's see. I have I have been reading some things about Houston, so let's see what actually does. Like if I code here, doesn't do anything. Okay, what happened if I made a mistake like this? LOL, it's actually sad. No way. Close this. This is my favorite framework, whatever. Okay, I think I can calm myself now after tweeting how cute Houston is everywhere. And we can start talking about Astro Components, okay? Because I give you a review, but now let's build one from scratch. So I cleaned it up a little bit, the index page, okay? So I remove everything and we only have the wrapper, which is the layout, and we have a main tag, okay? So let's create a component. I'm going to create an Astro component. So it's gonna be a header or like a toolbar, okay? So let's call it like that, header. And if I understand correctly, you need to have this notation for the script, right? Okay. And then you have the HTML. So if I go here and I say header, okay, let's put the styles afterwards. So class header style. So style is like always. Okay, you this and let's say header with 100%. Let's put a certain height, and I'm just gonna put like a div inside, which is container, and inside of it let's put, I'm gonna put like an emoji. I'm gonna put an island emoji. So island. Okay, something like this. Okay, let's see what happens if I save. Oh, well, I have to import it, of course. So instead of having here, let's put this one. So header Astro. And now here, let's put, right before main, let's put header. Okay, it does give us the link here. Maybe to avoid problems with capitalized, let's call it the header. Okay, it's a good practice. So whenever you have a single word component, it's always better to put it like this to avoid also collision with default ones. Okay, so we do have something here. That's fine. Let's see the CSS of this. Okay, let's see the CSS of this. So let's check this one, main header, and yeah, well, it doesn't need to have that much. Could be 40 pixels. So we go to Esther here and we say 4 pixels. We might want to change the background. Okay, and box shadow. Something like that. Okay, I realized that body does have the wrapper, so where we can put the CSS, maybe in the layout here. Yes, so I'm gonna say body margin 0 to remove that. That's fine. And now in the header, let's put some padding. So I'm gonna say padding, no, like 1 rem everywhere. Yeah, looks ugly, but it is what it is. Maybe we can put the font like logo, class logo. So say like logo. Font size 2 rem. Okay, something like that. Also, we can remove the text decoration, none. It's missing a semicolon here. Okay, now we have a header. So if we inspect this, it is a header and it has like a class that identified this Astro component, which is pretty cool. And I want to see something like, I want to see what gives you, the localhost gives you. So basically it gives you the HTML right away. It has the style inline here by default. And you do have some bundles, which are these ones. This is the CSS one, CSS. Where's the JavaScript? Since we haven't marked this component to be interactive, it doesn't have any bundle of JavaScript related to it. Okay, now that we have our header component, let's put a title on it, and we're gonna pass that title as a prop. So I'm going to go to this layout here and basically copy the way it's taking the prop. So I'm going to copy it here, and it's gonna be the construction on astro.props, okay? And we're gonna put it just right aside this. I think this is a correct binding. Let's figure out, okay? But in the page here, we're gonna pass a title, so title, like this, okay? And maybe we can put the title here. So const title equal home and pass it right here. Okay, so there is something that Olio doesn't like. Maybe the props are not like this. So yeah, it's true that this prop right here didn't have. I'm confusing with Vue that you need to put 2 dots to pass a prop. So let's see if it's actually working. Okay, so if I pass title, it's passing this. Okay. And because it's only one, okay. So if I do this, now it passes, but it passed title. Okay, so it's not passing this variable here. So I had to put it right away, like this is home, something like this. Okay, and if I want to put something that is dynamic, it's like this. Doesn't seem like it. Let's check the props. So get started, Astro Components. Okay, and let's go here, import component script. Okay, so here you can define data, that's fine.
3 days later.
Okay, so it will not be like this, it will be like this. Okay, so it's a little bit like GSX, similar to React, you only pass like this. Okay, interesting. It's a little bit different from a Vue. It's more similar to what you do in React, to be honest. But it looks pretty dope. Like this is the way that you can pass properties to a component down. Okay, now let's continue with another topic, which are pages. And here you have seen that we have a folder called pages, and this one was the home root. Similar to other frameworks, the Astro uses file-based routing. That means that if we create here another one called about.astro, and we import also the layout because we need it for each page, I guess, or well, to reuse that layout. Okay, so we say import Java util scanner. No, this is not that one. Okay, so how to import, that's pretty cool. Here, let's put layout. Until now, like the snippets work really nice, to be fair. So layout is not assignable because we need to pass a title, that's true. So this one is gonna be about, right? And let's just put this one. Now, but I'm gonna change it to Houston. And I'm gonna say class text gradient because it's one that I saw before. Okay. So if my calculations are correct, if I go here and say localhost about, here we have another page. So I'm gonna take the whole style here. I'm gonna go to the layout and I'm going to put him here. Remove the extra style. Something like this, save. And now let's go back and we have a better styled page. So both of them will have the style. Okay, so it seems like whenever you create a new file under the directory pages, it's gonna create a new path on the route. And the cool thing is that since it's a multi-page application, this is actually not like view router that adds the page and controls the navigation object. This is actually a different HTML. Another thing that caught my eye when looking at documentation right now is that you can not only create .astro pages, you can also create Markdown pages. So I'm going to say, I'm going to create like blog, okay, like a folder, and inside of it I'm going to create a first article, so, or like island 1, okay. Okay, and inside of it, I guess we can use like normal Markdown with from Matter. And you can pass here in layouts, you can define the layout that you want the page to be. So we have this layout already built here, and we're gonna call it island. Island, and I love you, Copilot, perfect emoji. So let's go here, and if I go to blog and then island, fail to load module. Out. And if I put it in the root, interesting, it didn't let me to create subfolder with blog, but only in the first layer, on the first layer of pages. Maybe that it was broken because of this. Let's try again. So let add a blog, okay, and island inside. But now let's go back to and see if it works. So it's gonna be blog, island. And now it's working. Okay, so you have to be careful to reference the correct directory where the layout is, but it's working, like you can do this. And if I create a new one called, I don't know, rock.md, and we copy and paste this, and we put this with a block quote. Okay, it's actually gonna do it. That's pretty cool. You can realize that there is not such a thing like a slug or dynamic page because you actually have this already here. But it must be a way that you can pass this dynamically without having, without the need of having to declare them here. But that's a little bit more advanced topic. Let's go to the basics and continue with something else. But just before we jump to the last part of this tutorial, some word from our sponsor that actually sponsor us, Astro. Looking for a CMS solution that is great both for marketing teams and developers? Look no further. Storyblok is the headless CMS solutions that you always wanted to have. See how easy it is to change content for your website with a real-time visual editor, creating a delightful customer experience for your teams. Go from a content update to production in no time. Storyblok is easily integrable with multiple tech stacks, making your dev team's life easier. Go and try it for free at storyblok.com. Okay, so going back to the last part of this tutorial, because I don't want to make it too long, is that we're gonna check the official integrations that Astro provides. So if we go to the documentations page, one of the points here is integrations. And it's talking about also UI frameworks. So what I would like to try right now is to add a view component and see if it renders. We're gonna use the Astro integration for view, okay? And it seems like the installation is pretty straightforward. You only need to do npx astro add view. So let's go here, open the terminal, and I'm going to add a new one and say npx astro add view. And see what happens. So it's gonna install this, yes. Okay, so it prompts you how it's gonna be installed in the Astro config. So I guess if I say yes, it's gonna do it automatically. Also, it's gonna change some stuff on the TS config. I'm gonna trust blindly. And we are here. Okay, so let's see what happened. If we go to the astro.config, the changes has been done. Okay, so it seems like it's really similar to Vite. What it does is it extends with integrations, an array of integration, and you add the one for view. It's like a plugin system. Reminds me a lot of Vite. Okay, so let's see if it works. Let's go to components, and I'm gonna create a new component called view island dot view. Okay, and inside of it I'm going to create a basic single file component with setup syntax that is going to say view component. Okay, maybe to add something more interesting, let's create a function here that says hello, and if we click this bad boy here, it's gonna say hello. Also, we can add some styles to not be that boring. So let's add a class here, which is gonna be component. And here, view component. Let's add in like a padding of 1 rem and a background. Teal background maybe, and color white. Okay, to differentiate it a little bit, also we're gonna use a border radius of, I don't know, 8 pixels maybe. Now let's try to add it. Something that I saw in the documentation is that you can only add view or any other UI framework components into an Astro component. So we are going to add it in our index Astro, and just inside of the main, we are going to call view island, and it's going to be out imported. So if we go here and we go to the index page, here we have our view component. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens if I click it. So this is the interesting part. As you can see, there is no JavaScript attached, only the HTML. If we go to the network tab and we refresh, of course, and we see, hey, okay, localhost, it's rendering the HTML from that component. So here is the HTML, but we don't have any JavaScript attached to it. So how can we iterate this component so it's interactive? The way of doing it is adding a directive. So here we can say client only, client visible, client idle. I guess it's gonna be client load. Okay, so if we go here and we refresh and we click, now the JavaScript is loaded and we can see the console log from it. If we go here, we're gonna see somewhere the view island view here, and here is the JavaScript related to that functionality. So it's creating the view client here. It's impressive, it's doing everything. And asynchronously as well. This is it, I'm leaving, bye. I'm not exaggerating, I'm actually mind blown by how good it works. Okay, I forgot something really important, and is that we should try to build it to see what happens. So let's do our build. And the output is static. So it generates static routes, index, so it has a crawler. This is really similar to Nox, and I guess to Next as well. So it's building static entry points, that's fair. And can we preview it to something? Like, yes, and our preview. So let's go to, it's the same one. Okay. Yeah, so it seems as this one. But it's difficult to see which one it is because it delivers everything like super. I guess this is the production one, but everything is so minimal that it's difficult to say it. So I guess yes, this is the build one. The only thing that is missing is that you deploy it in your favorite hosting solution, and that's it. You have a page with Astro. And that, chamos y chamos, is everything from today's video. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. I can't believe how good Astro is. I wish I could use it before in so many projects. Let me know if you like it too. If you did, please subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments all your questions, and also if you would like me to create more videos about Astro, for example with Preact, with Vue, or more complex stuff. And remember, every time you don't subscribe to one of my videos, a panda astronaut dies in space, in a cruel way. As always, you can find all the links in the description below, and don't forget to subscribe. Happy coding! Ciao ciao!